Thanks, Ashley. Well, a bill making its way through the Mississippi legislature would change the law and penalties for possession of methamphetamine. Senate Bill 2347 would change the amount of the drug considered a felony and would focus on treatment rather than jail time for first-time offenders. Anthony Jenkins Jr. talked with a local sheriff about how that could change law enforcement's approach.
Senate Bill 2347 passed the state Senate earlier this month. It will revise the laws and penalties regarding the simple possession of methamphetamine. Under the proposed law, possession of 1 gram or less or 5 dosage units or less would be considered a misdemeanor, with a first offense carrying a maximum $250 fine or 30 days in county jail or both. The offender will also have to be assessed for the possibility of drug treatment. With a second offense, those penalties increase to a maximum fine of $1,000 and 6 months in jail, and the offender will be required to participate in a drug treatment program. Possession of the smaller amount would not be considered a felony until the third offense. The proposed changes aren't sitting well with some in law enforcement, including Webster County Sheriff David Gore.
When it takes away the tools that we have in law enforcement to enforce the law, then I think it's time for me to stand up and say something.
Sergeant Andrew Rogers has seen the effects the drug has, not only on the user, but those around them.
One of my main concerns is I've dealt with this personally in traffic and different things like that. And I've noticed that a lot of these individuals will have kids in the car from time to time, and they're not really taking care of these kids. So with an uptick of this methamphetamine and less consequence being held on it, and there's always the concern that some of these kids might be getting a hold of it, and it's going to become a more common problem.
Gore doesn't rule out the benefits of treatment, but says dealing with meth requires a stronger approach.
You can't deal with methamphetamine like we deal with those other drugs. It's just a different drug, does different things to the human body and brain, and you have to deal with it differently. And finally, my final statement would be with methamphetamine, there is no way that we are going to be able to battle this problem without dealing with it through law enforcement.
In Webster County, telling your story, Anthony Jenkins Jr., WCBI News.
The bill has moved on to the State House of Representatives, where it has been referred to a committee. If it becomes a law, it would take effect July 1st.